The station bustled, a symphony of hurried footsteps and farewells echoing through the grand hall. Yet, a sense of peace settled as twilight deepened, the sky a canvas of soft hues. Our train, a midnight blue serpent, stood patiently, steam curling from its engine like a sleepy sigh. Lights twinkled, beckoning weary travellers to their haven for the night. A hush fell over the platform as the last-minute rush subsided, leaving a sense of anticipation hanging in the air. The air, tinged with the scent of coal smoke and night-blooming jasmine, whispered promises of distant lands. It was a scene both timeless and ephemeral, a fleeting moment of magic before the journey began. Soon we would be swept away from the familiar, carried into the heart of the night on a tide of rhythmic steel. Inside, the carriages hummed with a subdued energy. The soft glow of carriage lamps painted warm pools of light, illuminating faces both familiar and unknown. Passengers, their silhouettes framed against the windows, settled into plush velvet seats, finding comfort in the gentle rocking motion. A child's hushed laughter danced on the air, a counterpoint to the rhythmic clickety-clack of the train on the tracks. The aroma of freshly brewed tea wafted through the carriages, a comforting promise of warmth and relaxation. A businessman, his face etched with the day's worries, leaned back and closed his eyes. Perhaps in the gentle sway of the train he would find a moment of respite, a brief escape from the relentless pace of life. With a soft jolt, barely perceptible at first, the train stirred. It was a gentle awakening, a slow surrender to the pull of the tracks ahead. A low rumble vibrated through the carriages, the engine's heartbeat echoing our own as we embarked on this shared journey. Slowly, almost reluctantly, we pulled away from the platform, leaving behind the familiar glow of the station. The faces on the platform, illuminated by flickering gas lamps, became a blur, their farewell waves swallowed by the night. A sense of adventure, tinged with a hint of melancholy, filled the air. The city lights, sparkling like a scattering of diamonds, receded into the distance, replaced by the inky blackness of the open countryside. The rhythmic clatter of the wheels on the tracks became our lullaby, a hypnotic soundtrack to our journey into the heart of the night. The city, with its relentless energy, faded from view, replaced by the tranquil embrace of the countryside. Fields, shrouded in a blanket of mist, rushed past, silent sentinels guarding the secrets of the night. Trees, their branches reaching towards the heavens, swayed in the gentle breeze, whispering tales of distant lands. The scent of wildflowers carried on the night air, wafted through the open windows, a sweet reminder of nature's enduring beauty. The sky above, a vast expanse of velvety black, was ablaze with stars, their light twinkling like celestial fireflies. The moon, a pale orb in the inky expanse, bathed the landscape in an ethereal glow, casting long dancing shadows that flickered across the passing scenery. The train journey settled into a soothing rhythm. A gentle rocking motion lulled us deeper into the embrace of the night. The rhythmic clatter of the wheels on the tracks became a comforting mantra, a steady beat that pulsed in time with our heartbeats. Each clickety-clack was a step further away from the cares of the day, a gentle release into the quiet sanctuary of the night. The rhythmic sway of the carriage, like a cradle rocking, soothed the soul, inviting sleep and whispered dreams. Outside, the world was a blur of darkness and fleeting light, but inside our carriage, There was a sense of warmth, of shared solitude, a haven of peace in the heart of the rushing night. The train windows, now black mirrors reflecting the interior lights, transformed into hypnotic portals. Gazing into their depths, one could almost glimpse the dreams and memories flickering through the minds of fellow passengers. A young girl, her nose pressed against the cool glass, watched the world fly by, her eyes wide with wonder. What stories did she weave in her mind, inspired by the shadows and moonlight dancing outside her window? An elderly couple, their hands clasped, shared a knowing smile, their love a beacon of warmth in the dimly lit carriage. Each passing mile held a lifetime of shared memories, reflected in their contented gazes. The landscape, bathed in the ethereal glow of the moon, transformed into a mesmerizing tapestry of green and silver. Fields, once cloaked in darkness, now shimmered under the celestial light, their grassy expanse resembling a rippling sea of silver. Trees, stark silhouettes against the moonlit sky, stood like ancient guardians, their branches reaching towards the heavens as if trying to grasp the stars. The moonlight, filtering through their leaves, painted intricate patterns on the ground, turning the forest floor into a mosaic of light and shadow. And through it all, the train cut a path, a ribbon of light piercing the heart of the night, carrying us ever onward towards our destination. The wind, a restless spirit, whispered secrets through the trees, its voice a low hum against the train's steady rhythm. It carried with it the scent of damp earth and wildflowers, a heady perfume that spoke of hidden meadows and moonlit glades. Sometimes the wind would gust against the train windows, as if trying to tell us a story, its voice rising and falling in mournful howls and playful whistles. We strained to decipher its language, to understand the tales it carried from distant lands. But the wind, like the night itself, guarded its secrets closely, leaving us to interpret its whispers as our imagination saw fit. Above us, the stars twinkled with an ageless beauty, their light a beacon in the vast expanse of the night sky. Familiar constellations, like old friends, guided our way, their patterns unchanged for millennia. The North Star, a constant presence, shone brightly, a celestial compass pointing us ever northward. We imagined ancient mariners guided by these same stars, their ships sailing across vast oceans, their hearts filled with the same sense of wonder that filled ours now. The stars, witnesses to countless journeys over countless years, seemed to watch over our train as it sped through the night, their silent presence a comforting reminder of the vastness and mystery of the universe. Onward we journeyed, the train slicing through a tapestry of silver and shadow. Fields bathed in moonlight stretched out on either side, their vastness both humbling and exhilarating. The wind, sweeping across the land, created waves of silver in the tall grass like whispers passing through a crowd. We imagined the creatures of the night, hidden amongst the swaying stalks. A fox, perhaps, its eyes gleaming in the darkness, or a barn owl, its wings silent as it soared across the moonlit expanse. The fields, silent witnesses to our passing, seemed to hold their breath, their secrets safe beneath the cloak of night. The rhythmic clatter of the wheels on the tracks created a hypnotic lullaby, a soothing counterpoint to the vast stillness of the landscape. And we, cocooned in the warmth of our carriage, felt a sense of peace descend, a quiet surrender to the magic of the night. In the distance, a pinpoint of light pierced the darkness, a beacon of warmth in the vast moonlit expanse. As we drew closer, the light resolved itself into the warm glow of a solitary farmhouse, its windows radiating a welcoming yellow against the inky backdrop of the night. Smoke curled lazily from its chimney, painting a fleeting white line against the star-dusted sky. We imagined a family gathered around a crackling fire, sharing stories and laughter as the night deepened around them. Perhaps a dog lay curled on the hearthrug, its ears twitching at the sound of our passing train. The farmhouse, a symbol of enduring life and quiet routine, vanished as quickly as it had appeared, swallowed by the darkness. Yet the image of its warm light lingered, a reminder of the countless lives unfolding beyond the train's path, each with its own stories to tell. The train tracks, our guiding ribbon of steel, suddenly forked, a second set branching off from the main line and disappearing into the impenetrable darkness. We watched, mesmerized, as the rails diverged, leading towards an unknown destination, a secret path hidden from the maps. What adventures, we wondered, lay at the end of that forgotten track? What sleepy villages, what hidden valleys, what forgotten forests awaited discovery? The possibilities, as endless as the night itself, sparked our imaginations, filling our minds with images of wild, uncharted landscapes. The train, bound by its schedule and its destination, continued along the main line, leaving the diverging track behind. But the allure of the unknown lingered, a silent reminder that even in the most familiar of journeys, there are always paths less traveled, waiting to be explored. We rounded a bend and the landscape shifted once more. Ahead, a silver ribbon shimmered in the moonlight, its surface dancing with the reflected light of 1,000 stars. As we drew closer, the ribbon resolved itself into a river, its waters flowing silently and swiftly beneath the train bridge. The moon, a perfect orb in the night sky, cast a shimmering path across the water's surface, creating an illusion of liquid light. The stars, too, found their reflection in the river's depths, their twinkling lights mirrored in the dark, flowing water. For a moment, the train seemed to hover between earth and sky, suspended between the vastness of the night and the silent depths of the river. It was a moment of pure, serene beauty, a reminder of the interconnectedness of all things. The landscape changed once more as we plunged into the heart of a dense forest. The trees, their branches intertwined overhead, formed a canopy so thick that it blotted out the stars. The air grew heavy with the scent of pine needles and damp earth, a heady perfume that spoke of ancient growth and hidden secrets. The trees, silhouetted against the faint glow of the eastern horizon, seemed to hold their breath as the train passed, their silence both eerie and exhilarating. We imagined nocturnal creatures, owls, bats, deer, watching us with wide, unblinking eyes from the safety of the shadows. The forest, a place of mystery and magic, seemed to exist outside of time, its secrets closely guarded by the trees. We felt a sense of awe as we journeyed through its heart, humbled by the power and majesty of the natural world. As quickly as it had begun, our journey through the forest came to an end. The trees thinned, their branches no longer interlaced above our heads. We emerged into a landscape of rolling hills, the first faint blush of dawn painting the eastern sky with hues of pink and gold. The air, no longer heavy with the scent of pine needles, felt fresh and invigorating. Birdsong, tentative at first, began to filter through the trees, a chorus of greetings to the newborn day. The world, slowly awakening from its slumber, seemed to stretch and yawn around us. Our journey through the heart of the night was coming to an end, but the peace it had instilled within us lingered. We had witnessed the beauty of the world asleep, and now, as dawn approached, we felt a sense of anticipation for the day ahead, for the new adventures that awaited. The train hugged the curves of the land, and we found ourselves gliding alongside a river once more. But this time, the water held a magic all its own. The sky, a vast, inky canvas, was strewn with stars, their light so brilliant that they seemed close enough to touch, and the river, its surface as smooth as glass, reflected their brilliance, creating the illusion of a second celestial river flowing beside our own. We watched, mesmerized, as the stars danced upon the water. Their twinkling lights multiplied 1,000-fold in the river's depths. It was as if we were journeying through a realm where the heavens met the earth, where the celestial and the terrestrial intertwined. The gentle rocking of the train, the rhythmic clatter of the wheels on the tracks, the soft murmur of conversation from fellow passengers, all faded into the background as we lost ourselves in the spectacle of the starlit river. It was a moment of pure, unadulterated wonder, a reminder of the beauty and mystery that lay at the heart of the natural world. Throughout our journey, the moon had been our constant companion, a silent observer gazing down upon us from its celestial perch. It had bathed the landscape in its silvery light, transforming the familiar into something magical, something otherworldly. Now, as the night deepened, the moon seemed to glow even brighter, casting long, dancing shadows that stretched and contorted across the passing scenery. We watched as trees became gnarled giants, their branches reaching out like grasping claws, and hills transformed into sleeping behemoths, their rounded forms shrouded in an ethereal glow. The moon, a celestial timekeeper, reminded us of the steady, inexorable passage of time. It had witnessed countless journeys like ours, countless nights filled with hopes and dreams, fears and anxieties, and yet it remained unchanged, a constant presence in a world of constant flux. Gazing up at the star-dusted sky, we felt a sense of awe and wonder at the sheer vastness of the universe. Each twinkling point of light represented a distant sun, perhaps orbited by its own planets, its own moons, its own celestial wonders. What secrets, we wondered, did those distant stars hold? What mysteries lay hidden within their fiery hearts? Were there other beings out there, gazing up at the same stars, asking the same questions? The universe in its immensity both humbled and inspired us. It reminded us of our own smallness, our own mortality, and yet it also filled us with a sense of hope, a belief that anything was possible, that the universe was a place of infinite possibilities. Suddenly, a streak of silver light slashed across the sky, leaving a trail of incandescent dust in its wake. A collective gasp of wonder rippled through the carriage as we witnessed the fleeting beauty of a shooting star. For a brief, magical moment, the star illuminated the landscape below, casting everything in an eerie, otherworldly glow. Then, just as quickly as it had appeared, it vanished, leaving behind only the faintest trace of its passage. The shooting star, a reminder of the ephemeral nature of time, prompted us to make a wish, to whisper our hopes and dreams into the night. And as we did so, we couldn't help but feel a sense of gratitude for this moment, for the opportunity to witness such a magical, fleeting event. Section 5, Lullaby of the Night. As the night wore on, the gentle rocking of the train, the rhythmic clatter of the wheels on the tracks, the soft murmur of conversation from fellow passengers, all combined to create a soothing lullaby. The sounds of our journey, once so novel, so exciting, now lulled us into a state of peaceful drowsiness. Outside, the world rushed by, a blur of darkness and fleeting light. But inside our carriage, there was a sense of warmth, of security, of gentle motion. It was as if the train itself were rocking us to sleep, carrying us safely through the heart of the night. The air, filled with the scent of sleep and the faint aroma of coal smoke, seemed to grow heavier, thicker, inviting us to surrender to its embrace. And so, one by one, we closed our eyes, allowing ourselves to be lulled into a state of blissful unconsciousness. Section 6. Dreams Under a Canopy of Stars. As we drifted off to sleep, our dreams were filled with the sights and sounds of our night journey. We dreamt of starlit rivers and moonlit fields, of shooting stars and whispering forests. We dreamt of distant galaxies and unknown worlds, of adventures yet to be had and stories yet to be told. And above us, the stars twinkled on, a silent audience to our dreams, a constant presence in a world of fleeting images and fleeting thoughts. They were a reminder that even as we slept, the universe continued to turn, its mysteries unfolding according to their ageless rhythm. Our carriage, bathed in the soft glow of the carriage lamps, became a vessel of dreams, a sanctuary where the cares of the day faded away and the possibilities of the night unfolded before our closed eyes. Section 7. Towards the dawn light. The night deepened, and the stars, having kept watch over us for so long, began to fade, their light dimming as the first faint hints of dawn appeared on the eastern horizon. The sky, once a deep, velvety black, gradually transformed, taking on hues of purple, then pink, then a soft, luminous gold. Inside our carriage, the air, no longer heavy with sleep, felt fresher, cleaner. A sense of anticipation, of new beginnings, began to stir within us as the train continued its journey towards the dawn light. The world outside our windows, no longer shrouded in darkness, slowly began to reveal itself once more. And we, refreshed by our night's journey, felt a renewed sense of wonder and excitement for the day ahead, for the adventures that awaited us at our journey's end. The train journeyed on, a steady pulse in the heart of the night. The landscape, painted in shades of silver and shadow by the moon, remained largely unchanged, a vast silent expanse stretching out on either side of the tracks. Yet, as the hours passed, a subtle shift occurred. On the distant horizon, tiny pinpricks of light began to appear, like fireflies winking in the vast darkness. These flickering lights, too faint to be stars, hinted at life and activity in the sleeping countryside. A reminder that even in the depths of the night, the world continued to turn. Were they farmhouses, we wondered, their inhabitants already awake and tending to their chores? Or perhaps they were small villages, their lights a beacon of warmth and welcome to weary travellers. Whatever their source, these distant lights sparked our curiosity, reminding us of the countless lives unfolding beyond our immediate view. As our journey progressed, the distant lights grew closer, more distinct. Soon we found ourselves slowing as the train approached a small town, its presence heralded by the gentle clanging of a crossing signal. The train's brakes hissed gently, breaking the hypnotic rhythm of our journey as we glided to a halt at a quaint, deserted station. Through the carriage windows we glimpsed a world temporarily suspended in time. Rows of terraced houses, their windows dark and silent, lined the streets. A lone pub, its sign creaking gently in the breeze, cast a pool of golden light onto the cobbled street below. The town, bathed in the soft glow of street lamps, had a timeless, almost fairy tale quality. It was as if we were witnessing a scene from a bygone era, a glimpse into a simpler, quieter way of life. Then, with a gentle jolt and the hiss of escaping steam, the train started moving again, carrying us away from the sleeping town and back into the embrace of the night. Onward we journeyed, the memory of the sleeping town fading into the tapestry of our nighttime adventure. The train, now back to its steady rhythm, seemed to devour the miles, its powerful engine a reassuring presence as we ventured deeper into the heart of the countryside. At one point we slowed again, this time at a small, seemingly deserted station. The platform was empty, the station house shrouded in darkness, but as we drew alongside we noticed a lone figure standing beneath a flickering gas lamp. The station master, for it was he, raised his lantern in a silent salute, its warm glow illuminating his weathered face and the brass buttons of his uniform. He stood motionless as the train passed, a solitary sentinel in the vast emptiness of the night, his presence a testament to the quiet dedication of those who kept the railways running, even in the smallest hours. The landscape beyond the train window continued to unfold, a never-ending panorama of fields, forests and rivers, all bathed in the ethereal glow of the moon. We had settled back into the rhythm of the journey, lulled by the gentle rocking motion and the hypnotic clatter of the wheels on the tracks. Then, in the distance, a shape emerged from the darkness, its silhouette stark against the moonlit sky. As we drew closer, we realized it was a church spire, its pointed form reaching towards the heavens like a giant's upraised finger. The church, we imagined, stood at the heart of a village, a place of worship, of community, of shared history. The spire, visible for miles around, seemed to watch over the surrounding countryside, a silent guardian of the people and their stories. As the night wore on, a subtle change occurred in the landscape. The distant lights, once rare and fleeting, became more frequent, more persistent. We began to glimpse clusters of houses, their windows glowing warmly in the darkness, and the occasional factory, its chimneys spewing plumes of smoke into the night sky. The roads, too, became busier, with the occasional lorry rumbling past, its headlights cutting through the darkness like beacons. These signs of human activity, once so jarring in the stillness of the night, now seemed almost comforting, a reminder that our journey was nearing its end, and the city, with its familiar hustle and bustle, awaited. The rhythm of civilization, once left behind in the quiet solitude of the countryside, slowly began to reassert itself, its beat growing stronger with every passing mile. As the first faint hints of dawn began to paint the eastern sky with hues of pink and gold, a shift occurred within the train carriage. The air, no longer heavy with sleep, crackled with a new energy, a sense of anticipation as our journey neared its end. Passengers, roused from their slumber by the changing light or the subtle shift in the train's motion, began to stir. Suitcases were retrieved from overhead racks, newspapers were folded, and final sips of tea were taken. Conversations, once hushed and sporadic, resumed with renewed vigor, as fellow travelers shared stories of their night's journey and their hopes for the day ahead. A sense of shared experience, forged during our nighttime odyssey, filled the carriage. a reminder that even in this transient world of comings and goings, connections could be made and moments could be shared. The train, our faithful midnight steed, began to slow, its rhythmic clatter softening to a gentle hum. Through the windows, the first light of dawn painted the cityscape in hues of pearl and rose, a breathtaking spectacle that signalled the end of our journey and the start of a new day. As the train pulled into the station, a sense of completion, of gentle awakening, settled over the carriage. We had journeyed through the heart of the night, through fields of silver and forests of shadow, under a canopy of stars that whispered ancient secrets. We had shared a fleeting intimacy with strangers, connected by the shared experience of the rails, and witnessed the world slumbering, peaceful and serene. With a final sigh of brakes and a gentle jolt, the train came to a halt. The platform, once a distant promise, materialized before us, bustling with life and purpose in the golden light of dawn. Porters hurried alongside the carriages, their trolleys piled high with luggage ready to assist passengers disembarking into the new day. Stepping off the train, we carried within us the lingering magic of the night. The gentle rocking motion, the rhythmic clatter of the tracks, the soft glow of the carriage lamps, these sensations remained etched in our memory, a soothing balm to carry into the day ahead. We had journeyed not just across miles, but through a landscape of the soul, a realm where dreams danced with reality and the ordinary transformed into the extraordinary under the watchful gaze of the moon and stars. The memories of our midnight railway journey, like precious souvenirs, would be tucked away, ready to be revisited in quiet moments, in stolen glances at a starlit sky, in the rhythmic sway of a train journey yet to come. And perhaps, in the quiet hours, when the world slept once more, we would close our eyes and hear, once again, the distant echo of a train whistle, a siren song calling us back to the magic of the night.